All right, for this video, we're going to talk about how we copy and paste in blocks from the CAD blocks drawing file that I gave you, and then how to edit those if you need to. I'm going to click over to the CAD blocks file and go and find a bed. All right, I'll select one of them, hit Command C or Control C to copy it. Go back over to my drawing and hit Control or Command V. It'll then show up right at my cursor and wherever it's sort of bottom left-hand corner, and I'll just place it in the middle of my drawing. And then you're done. When you select it, I would then change it over to our layer system, and I would consider that to be I furniture. I stands for interiors. As a side note, the color for I furniture is yellow, and my bed is still staying the sort of peach color. I'll show you how to go and change that in just a bit. So if I need to move this around, I can use its grip and drag it around, or use the move command. Most of the time, I'm going to recommend moving your furniture at least an inch off the wall so it's easier to hatch and select items. The next thing I start to do is double check the bed is the correct size that I'm looking for. If I'm looking for a queen, it's typically 60 inches by 80 inches. And if I do a distance command, that's DI enter, I find out that it's a little smaller than what I need it to be. So I'm going to double click in like I double click into a group in Illustrator. Just hit OK, or go to, if it doesn't get you right there, you can right click, go to block editor. Usually double clicking will get you there. Delete that little code. And the first thing I usually do when I bring in new blocks is I select all the lines and I set them to layer 0. When I set a block to layer 0, meaning just the default layer, it'll change them all to white or black depending on which space that you're looking at this in, but it will change the color in your actual drawing depending on which layer you associate it to. So I selected all the lines, and then I went over to properties and changed it to layer 0. I'm going to hit escape twice. And now I'm going to then sort of measure my overall piece. So I can go and select all my items. Once again, I'm going to type in SC for scale, enter. I'm going to specify the base point, just what it's exactly asking for right down here, and I usually do the bottom corner. It can be the top corner, it doesn't really matter. After I do that, I talked about this in class, I'm going to hit R. Typically in Windows, you can click on this button, but most of the time I'm clicking R, enter, to set up a scale reference. I'm going to click on the width at the top of the bed, and now I'm going to say that it's, instead of whatever number it was previously, I'm going to set that up to be, say, 60 inches or whatever size your bed is. Enter. It got a lot smaller in this thing. That's okay. I'm going to check the length of it. So right now it's a little over almost 7 feet. So that's almost 84 inches. And I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Sometimes I'll do this with just sort of a temporary line that I'll delete later. So I'm going to create a little line that is 80 inches, just right next to my model. And I'm going to hit S to stretch it. This is a lot like using the white arrow in Illustrator. I'm going to select the top part of the bed, right click or hit enter to confirm that selection. Notice how the bottom line is not highlighted blue. And I'm going to then click on this top point. I'm going to start moving it down. And this is similar to what we talked about with copying and moving. I'm going to start moving in that vertical direction, but I'm going to first hover over this reference point I have and then start moving back over to that vertical line. You'll notice I'm getting some dashed lines and some little yellow crosshairs. These are called polar references or snap references. Once I have that working in the direction I want, I'm going to click or left click on there and then go and delete my line. All right. Now I can double check the scale of my bed again. Once again, that was DI enter. And I'm looking at my delta, X, and Y, and they are the numbers that I need. Once I'm happy with that, then I'm going to go and hit Close Block Editor, and we're going to save it. They just had some random assignments to these. You can change them later if you'd like. Hit Save. And now the bed is going to come out either really big or really small. But what we can do is go and change the scale of it back to 1. So it's its true size. So I usually change all of the numbers. The X, we're really just dealing with 2D right now, but I just changed the Z just in case. And now when I move it, it's going to be the exact size that I was intending it to be. So back to the part of making it layer 0 or the black lines within the actual block. Now if I go and change this to another layer, say just for illustrative purposes, I change it to a floor or the door layer. You notice how it then changes to green. If I go to a wall, it'll turn blue. And now you can go and arrange it as you need.